afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am your host, Sheila from The Essence in You. And today I have, I just love this lady already. I have Rachel Corpus here with us today. And she is a angel, like an actual angel. So I'm going to read you a little bit about her and then I'm going to let her tell you about herself. Rachel Corpus is an angel, an actual angel in a human body who came into a physical form to learn and teach how to live a fulfilled life and a deep connection with Source. She was born with the ability to experience things that others could not easily see or feel. Some of her earliest memories are of watching an angel singing above her crib or playing with ghost children from a nearby cemetery. Early in her life, experienced first of many near-death experiences with her family was in a serious car accident. She remembers going to the other side and being shown what her life could be if she decided to return as a healer and a teacher of many. After coming back, she experienced her gifts getting stronger and stronger. My Essence family, please welcome Rachel Corpus. Yay, Rachel! How you doing?
I'm very well. I do well always. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. So, could you, in your own words, tell us about yourself?
Thanks for asking. I am a very messy, real human. And inside my human coat, my spirit is an angel. So, what that means to me is I live a very authentic human life. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm a grumpy Gus, I'm all the things. And I was born a psychic child. We all are, right? We're all psychic and intuitive in our own way. And when I was little, I remember being able to see dead people and angels. I grew up Catholic, and when my family would go to mass, I remember being able to see angels dancing on the ceiling when the hymns were being played and sung. And then when I was little, as you spoke, my family was in a car accident and I had a near death experience. And when I was on the other side, I saw those same angels that were dancing in mass, and they said, "Hey, you're one of us." They showed me all around that realm. And when I came back to Earth after that near death experience, my journey began of making sense of what it's like to be human, eating, drinking, pooping, living, and integrating that with an angelic experience. By that, I mean trying to figure out, how am I worthy enough to be an angel, and why God, why me? Is that even possible? And spending years denying that that's even a thing, or is God real? Going through the gamut of religion, spirituality, atheism, all of the things, all the different religions, going through everything. And all the human stuff, becoming a mother,
Yeah.
going through trauma, divorce, losing children, all of the things. So what I've gotten to do in this realm is live on earth and integrate heaven. And with that, I also get to help people do the same thing. And my mission as an angel on earth is to help people realize that as we're here on earth, we remember that we're actually not separate from each other and we're not separate from God. We're actually fractals or versions of God. We're God with skin on. We're walking around as God. And as we experience each other, we're uploading those experiences back to God. And God is downloading herself, himself back to us. We're vibing each other back to God. God's vibing back to us. And we're all growing together. That's what we're doing.
When you were growing up, like in your teenage years or even middle school, did you have a hard time like relating to other children or just finding your way? Did you, were you kind of
Yeah,
lost or?
sure. Yeah, I did. So yeah, when I was in middle school, I well, I had a good group of friends that
Mm.
were in drama, and they were nerds, and so they were my lifeline.
Understood.
So yeah, that was nice. But as
Understood.
one who could see spirit, that was a little difficult. But I will
Mhm.
tell you, at that time in my life, my parents had purchased an opera house, a live theater, and they also showed movies on the weekends. And that place was built in about 1900 or 1901. So it was very haunted. So what was going on in my psychic life was I was going through training because when I would come home from school, it was my job to polish the brass or sweep the wood floor. And as I was doing my chores, there was spirit around me and I was watching them dance the Charleston or the waltz, or I could see them, some of it was residual hauntings. So I could see them practicing on stage. Some of them were interacting with me and they would say, "How was your day at school?" I was really being trained as a psychic there. And they were my friends. That was strange, but they were also like grandparents to me. So
Mm.
it was kind of this weird, I felt comfortable after school, but when I went to school, I couldn't talk about it. And the hardest part was I remember going to school one day and I was getting stuff from my locker. And I remember this kid named Kevin pushing the locker into my head and saying, "How you doing, witch?" It was things like that, as an adult, I would say, "Oh, go away." But, as a fifth grader, I can just feel the heat going through my body and the embarrassment because
Right.
you just want to fit in. Now I
Right.
would own it. But I remember things like that. And that plus, wondering, did I get my period today? Things like that. You're just navigating life. Plus, you're a little psychic kid. And there was a time that I just said to God, I don't want this anymore. And when I said that, it all quieted down. And when I did that, when I made that decision, I remember the spirit around me noticing me and giving me space. And my own gifts did go quiet. They kind of went to the margins of me. And then there was a time in my adult life where my gifts started to come back boldly because I had lost a child. And that trauma opened me back up big time. And I remember saying out loud to God, okay, if we're going to do this, prove it. Let's do it. But if
Mhm.
I'm going to work for you, God, let's really do this in a way that makes sense. When I had that conversation with God, it's like the universe shifted. And when I had that conversation with him, I was a public school teacher and I was teaching music and theater. And I had a wall of my classroom that was mirrors. I happened to be looking in that mirror and it's like the room shifted. I almost felt it and saw it. And I believe, my friend, that the timeline shifted because I felt it in the room and everything changed for me because I wouldn't say it got easier,
Mhm.
but everything changed as if God said, "Okay, you called it back in, so let's do it."
Mhm.
And that's really been my experience that when I told my gift to go away, it did. When I
Mhm.
called it back in, it did.
So when you said it shifted, like, did you see a flicker, or you know how some people are in the matrix and you get that little "Flick"? Did you
Yes.
that what you kinda saw?
It was
Or
like the whole room went clink. I was stationary. It was like I was in a fun house
mm,
and it went boop like that.
right?
I've never seen anything else like it in the entirety of my life. Boop.
Eh, boop. It's funny
Yeah.
that you said boop. I was talking to my daughter-in-law, and she had said that one time we were talking, I don't know what we're talking about, but because we talk about a little thing, and she says, "I don't know, but it just seemed like something shift, and I heard a pop, and everything just shifted." And it's
Mhm,
funny you says that's why I asked, "How did you see it?" Because she
mhm.
just heard a pop and then a, like, little move.
Yes, it
And
did have
I've
a
seen
sound
something
to it.
like that, like, like a but I only seen it once. I have never seen it
Yes.
again, just one time.
Yeah, it just happened to me once. Now
Yeah.
I've seen the matrix reposition itself. I've seen it.
Mhm.
I've seen it other times like a shimmer. I've
Mm.
seen the matrix adjust itself, but when that happened, it was a major shift and it had a sound to it. And I can't remember if I heard the sound or I felt it, but when I describe it, it has a pop or a boot to it. Absolutely. Kind of like when your knee pops and you can
Mhm.
hear it internally and you're not really hearing it in the room, but you do hear it.
Yeah.
Have that same
Yeah.
quality to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how did they inform you that you are an angel, that that is your being, an angel? How did you
Great
find that
question.
out?
Well, when I had the near death experience as a little 4-year-old, it was remarkable because when my parents' big green car, when I was moved out of my body, my little 4-year-old body was crunched by my mama's feet. But when my spirit came out, there were two voices. They were both me, my 4-year-old voice, and then there was this grown-up voice. And it's the voice you hear right now. I didn't recognize that voice. I'd never heard it before. But my angels said, and see, I was used to hearing my angels. I was used to that
Mhm.
because I was a psychic kid, used to that. Well, when my guardians said, oh, that's also you. That's your consciousness. That's the part of you that you're going to hear forever. I didn't really like that voice. It was screechy. It was the voice. And I said, that's what I sound like as a grown up. Now, that's also why I remember the NDE so much because I was in my consciousness. So I remember it really well because I wasn't in my 4-year-old brain. Now, my 4-year-old consciousness was there because I remember clicking back in and asking questions like, now, if I'm a grown up here, do I still get to play? Where are the toys? I was asking questions like that. And they had answers for me. They would say, oh, it's very playful here. All we do is play. Even though we work, we play. And they walked me around the seraphim realm. They said, oh, you're a member of the seraphim. They took me to that level and they walked me around where I work as a seraphim. And they said, you're a member of the seraphim. This is where the unborn babies are. This is where the souls prepare to be born. This is where the souls come back if they are not born or when they disincarnate. They showed me the nursery. They showed me where I keep my stuff. They showed me my desk, my office, my locker, where my shoes are, all of the details. And I remember the duality of seeing it for the first time, but remembering it at the same time. And then it was kind of the same feeling of seeing other angels there and seeing their characteristics, but also knowing them at the same time. They also described for me what my job was there and what my mission was specifically as my name is Rachel here, but my angelic name is Genevieve. And they said, your mission as Genevieve, I spoke to you earlier, was to help people remember that no matter how they incarnate, no matter what their body looks like, their mission is to remember they're not separate from each other and not separate from God. And you can do this mission in the seraphim realm, or you can go back to Earth. And I didn't decide to go back to Earth. At that moment, my 4-year-old self clicked in and I remembered my mother. And I didn't want her to be sad. And then I was back on Earth. And then that was it. Then I was a 4-year-old again. And then my guardian angels, we all have guardian angels, they began their work to help me remember the NDE and to help integrate my angel awareness into my human life and to let that ebb and flow so I could still be a kid and then a young adult and then an adult and help me decide how much I wanted to be an angel on earth. So that's how I know that I'm a seraphim. And then throughout my life, I've had more NDEs, some out of body experiences through astral travel. And sometimes, when I've had surgeries, things like that, I've also gone back and I've had other meetings with them, some upgrades, things like that, where I can go back and have more information given to me about being an angel. Sometimes my body's had an upgrade, things like that. So I get more, I guess the best way to say it is information about how to be an angel so I can come back and do more work.
Now, when you say an upgrade, is that like an energy upgrade so that you can handle?
Yes.
Because I know I know your channel also. So is
Mhm.
that so you can handle that energy? Because I understand that it's a very intense energy that comes forth or comes through. Is that right?
What they've told me is that when I receive an upgrade, it's to help me manage the amount of variable energy that's on Earth.
Mhm.
It's because Earth energy changes so rapidly and angelic energy does not change. It's always at the same vibration. And so when I receive an upgrade, it helps me navigate the rapidly changing human energy. And actually, every person on earth receives this type of upgrade because there's no human here. No person incarnate is a human. No one. Everyone here is from somewhere. Everyone's a star seed or an angel. Everyone's an immigrant here. So everyone receives that type of upgrade from wherever they're from their benevolent beings. Because when we're here, the structure of this dimension is always changing. So That's a very common thing to happen. And that's why, so that when we're here, our experience here does not pull us under. And we might witness that happening by our ears ringing. That might
Mm.
be the
My
outward
ears
showing for
ring.
a lot of people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my ears, they do ring. Sometimes they do ring. They
Yeah.
haven't rung here lately, but at one point, I would say a couple months ago, right before I started the channel, it would ring, give me a buzz, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
so I
typically
have
what's
learned.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, your guardian angels, they are working with your natural frequency in a way that helps you maintain the best and highest frequency for you so that when you're around frequency, the earth frequency that may not serve you the best, or maybe it's in flux at that moment, it doesn't pull you under. It doesn't affect you in a negative way. You're getting help at that moment.
Sometimes, we all need it. For is vibration and frequency, is that the same? Like some people say I need to stay on a high frequency or keep your vibration high. Is that the same thing? And if so, how can you maintain, or how do you know what frequency you have to maintain yourself at?
You can use those terms interchangeably, but they are different. Frequency is like what you come in with in your lifetime. It's like your bank account of energy, and it's what you have built up in all of your experiences and all of your lifetimes. And your vibration is what changes moment to moment. So I could say to you, instead of how are you, I could say, how's your vibe? I want to check in with your vibe right now. Your frequency is, like I said, you. And I could look at your frequency at the end of your life experience and see how that's changed little by little, what you've built up in that bank account. But your frequency doesn't change that much, but your vibration changes by the minute. It changes all the time. So we're always looking at our vibration to see how consistent can you make it? And your vibration, you want to try to make that as high or as fast as you can, because a high or fast vibration matches the God vibration or the love vibration. And the more frequent you are, closer you are to source or God. And that might be the goal that most beings have. And if you find that you're one that chooses to incarnate over and over, that might be because the goal is to get closer to God over and over. So, what I've been shown by the angels is the frequency is like the culmination, the bank account. Vibration is like the change, the loose change, the moment by moment. They also don't care. They're saying you use it. It's your own terminology, however you choose to use it. But that's what I've been told.
So when you say when we reincarnate, how many times can we reincarnate, or do we have the option to or not to reincarnate?
We always have choice, always. So we always have the option after we leave a physical body. We're always given the option, do you want to try this again? The funny thing is, once we're out of a physical body, the angels say, beings, we always think it's a great idea to go back. Because when we're here in this earth space, they always hear us say, this is so hard. Takes so long. This is so difficult. But as soon as we're out of it and we go back to the oneness, we say, that was great. That was so easy. It just was like that. Let's go back. Let's go back and help some more. So what's a really good idea is to start saying to your guardian angels, hey, remind me, that was very difficult. Remind me, I said I don't want to go back. This is a really good thing to instruct your guardian angels. Hey, remind me what I said. Be my coaches. Because according to them, it looks really enticing to us to keep going back. We don't necessarily need to do that. Some people talk about some sort of reincarnation loop or a karmic loop. I've
Mm,
never seen that to be actually true. I've
mhm,
only seen and heard from the angelic realm that we have choice always. There's nobody trapping us. And people have different schools of thought about that, but I've never seen that to be true. We always have choice because at the root of that is a very loving and free will God who would never trap us.
How can you tell how many times your soul reincarnates? Like, can you go into the Akashic records and they'll say you reincarnated 6 times or 4 times, or how can you tell if someone has? I say that my grandson has an old soul because I swear he has been here before because he says things and
Mhm.
I'm like, how do you know that? You're only about
Well,
it.
the Akashic records would be a great place to go and find that out.
Mhm.
What I'm hearing as I channel that is a very interesting answer. What I'm hearing from, so I'm going to ask, I'm going into a part of the Akashic records that's very intriguing to me. It's the part of the Akashic records that is, if we were to go into a library, I'm going into the actual building of the library and not the books. So let's think about that as the Akashic, I'm not going into anybody's personal database, but into the Akash. And so the Akash itself is speaking to me, and she feels female to me. And so she is saying that every soul was created with God at the same time as God. And so every soul is the same age. And also every soul having free will can choose to incarnate as many times as they want. So even though every soul is the same age, they may have a different amount of incarnations. And so every soul has the right and privilege to go into their own records and ask that question. So they may have different answers. And they also should realize that they can incarnate on many different planetary systems. So they may not always be on Earth, of course, and to be aware that it will be much more than a handful of times. People may think that they have incarnated 6 times. Oh, no, it'll be a number that they will not be able to write down. It will be like an infinite number. And also, it's a number that the Akash is showing me. She's trying to show me a number that looks like a webbed ball. It's not even a number because it's not possible to write a number like that because we're multidimensional. So when she tries to show me the number 7, that number starts to go around itself because one lifetime is happening at the same time that there's an infinite amount of other lifetimes happening at the same time. And she's saying, this is a hard answer to give because there's so many things happening for a soul at the same time. How do you possibly qualify that or quantify that? Makes my head
Exactly.
hurt a little bit.
That's the parallel lives, how they're saying that we are living
Yes.
this life, another life, and another life. And then the
Yeah.
people talk about jumping timelines. I still haven't figured that out, how you can jump timelines. I haven't
Yes.
quite figured out how that works. Like if I
Which
want
is
to go
totally
to,
fine.
yeah.
Totally fine, because I hear the angels say, delight in not figuring everything out. That's play. We don't have to know everything. Delight in the mystery, they say. If you knew everything, you'd be dead.
Right.
You're supposed to
I
be
like
here
that.
to discover. If you knew everything, you'd be dead. If you knew everything, you'd be God. Archangel Gabriel will say, God can be boring. God knows the answers. And then he'll roll his eyes.
How many beings do you channel?
All.
Oh, okay.
All beings, all beings. And I do that with prayer because I am not a human Ouija board. So I will do that often by saying, I surround myself with the goodness and safety of God's white light because I know that I know that all beings are created by God. So if I'm channeling and something that I'll say in my human way, dark comes through, I'm safe. I'm safe because I know that boogeyman was created by God. So I'm personally safe. I also don't want that boogeyman to hang out with me in the middle of the night after I helped it or
Right.
talked with it. So I feel confident channeling any being, but I do have my boundaries. So that's my jam. So I feel confident helping people in any situation or being the liaison for any being, but I do have my rules, but that's how I do it. So I love that because I show up as a helper with no judgment. Don't cross me.
It's funny when you said the boogeyman, and it brought back the movie The Riddick, and they always talk about the multiverse and how
Yes.
the multiverse was supposed to be dark. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if it is or not, but
Can be.
what is the multiverse? Could you explain what is the multiverse? Because I hear
Sure.
that floating around too.
The multiverse is possibility. The multiverse is if you have something in front of you that you know, it is the possibility for what you didn't plan on. It's the alternate, and then the alternate of that, and the alternate of that. It's the possibility of everything else. And it gives us permission as beings to live every possible situation that our ego can't produce. And it is such a wonderful thing because we get to grow as spirit in a way that the angels say we didn't grow in that way when we incarnated, let's say, 5 generations ago. We didn't do that. We lived in a more linear way. Honestly, we did. Time is functioning for us differently because as beings, we called it in. We decided we're not afraid anymore. We want to learn as much as we possibly can. And as a collective consciousness, we said we want to do that in the best way that we can. What I don't know if we mapped it out this way or we just created it and it showed up this way. But what showed up is the multiverse. So what we created is this way to learn almost like we have an infinite amount of movies playing all the time and the movie subject is us. We're not watching all those movies. We don't need to, except the information is still going into us. So when we die, our life reviews, we're going to the movies and watching all those movies. And you're like, great, we did all that. Amazing. And the movies are not just looking like Sheila in this Sheila costume, but also other costumes, because it's not just a multiverse, but your past or other lifetimes plus future Sheila. I mean, it's not just parallels, but like past and future. It's the whole ball.
Quantum realm. Realm.
Yes.
Say that again 3 times. What is that, and can you access that?
Oh my God, yes. So the quantum realm is in your head. It's behind your eyelids. The last time that you were in the quantum realm that you recognize, you were in the womb. That's the last time you really hung out in it. Or that's wrong. No, you were in the angels are correcting me. You hung out in the quantum realm in between your dream travel because it's the beautiful, luscious, dark space behind your eyelids. It's like the angels call it the airport, because it's a live space. So the way to access it is when your eyes are closed, you look behind your eyelids like a room that's lost power. And it feels kind of like you're looking at a VR set, but it's not made up. It's a real live space. And so if you look behind your eyelids and you really look up, down, even look behind you with your eyes closed, you are accessing the quantum realm. We could call this heaven.
Mm-hmm.
We could call it space. You could call it anything you want, but you will see faces, constellations, neon looking shapes, lights. You will also see tunnels, wormholes. Sometimes you'll see nothing because it's a low traffic time. But when you start to see the movement, stare at it because you'll go into it and you'll go into other dimensions. That's why the angels call it the airport waiting room, because there's travel there. And they like to say that the most significant time you were there last was in your mama's womb, because you were waiting for that portal to be born. But see, we can still access that anytime we meditate by looking behind our eyelids. We'll lose that focus if we start to think about grocery list, human stuff. But if we can think about that idea of looking behind our eyelids the same way, if the room loses power, we're trying to look around, look at it that way, because that's the quantum realm. It's as easy as that. You can ask questions in there like, angels, show up in front of me. What do you look like? Mom, I miss you. What do you look like today? That's a communication space, and it's real. This house I live in, I was just hanging out in the quantum realm and I tunneled and I saw a house that I didn't recognize. And then when we were looking for houses, oh my gosh, that's the house I saw. And when you tunnel in this quantum realm, it doesn't feel like a vision. You actually go into a 3-dimensional space that you're fully awake and aware that you feel like you can reach your hand out and touch something. It is a space that has texture and almost smell. You go into a space. It's different than in your mind's eye. It's weird. So that's what I know of the quantum realm. Because all of the place that right now where we are, you and I speaking here, people are right when they say it's a matrix or a holograph. We really are making it up as we go. So when you access the quantum, you're going into a different fractal or part of that. You're just going into a different neighborhood.
So, do you believe, since that we are living in a matrix, that we all come from extraterrestrials? Is that a fair statement to say?
Yes, I know that we are living in a sacred holograph because I've been shown that by God. And we create it as collaborators with God, seen that mapped out in the seraphim realm so many times as people get ready to incarnate. That's part of my job over there. Sometimes people underestimate that by calling it a video game or something. And I haven't seen it like that.
Mhm.
It's much more sacred than that. There's a lot more to it. But this is a type of hologram, and we're very much in control of it. It's not negative. It's wonderful, but it's and I don't want to say it's not real because it is. I mean, this place is made of matter, physical matter, because we believe it is. But on the other hand, what I know to be true, and this is very strange, this holograph is made of haptic feedback. And what I mean by that is, boy, your house is only there when you want it to be. So when you drive away from your house, it's not there. That's the way this holograph is made. Your faith in your house is so strong, that it's only there when you want it to be. The chair that you sit in, you believe that it's going to be there so much that it's there. That is haptic feedback. We put faith in things so much. We put faith in fear so much that the things we fear keep showing up. We put faith in things like, gosh, we won't have enough money. Guess what? Our money doesn't show up. That's the holograph we live in. And we are collectively creating our reality bit by bit. So, as we move into this great awakening that people talk about, the holograph is actually shifting into something more positive because we're getting tired of the struggle. And we're starting to see this holograph change it to something that is much more loving and honestly easy.
Is that the new Earth that
Yeah.
uh the new I always say Eckhart Tolle, but he wrote the
Yeah.
book, but that's the new Earth that we're going into. We're in the fifth dimension now, or
Fifth dimension. Yes.
fifth dimension. What do you think about that? I mean, as far as that fifth dimension versus the dimension that we just left, like, are we all the way in the fifth dimension, or are we like
Yeah.
kind of in the middle, or just getting into it, or
Well, the
explain that?
from the realm, what I know from our meetings in the realm, the fifth dimension, that timeline has been open for a really long time. And the third dimension died a long time ago. But if you think about when a bell is rung, the bell rings and it's done, but we hear the resonance of the bell for a while. So we're in the resonance of the third dimension. And so people are hearing that resonance and they're thinking that it's still happening. But the resonance of the third dimension, it's not real. It just feels real. So there's nothing in the third dimension that's being created anymore. It's just old stuff. So the angels are saying that there's nothing new created in the third dimension. So when we think about war or hunger, even though that's still happening, nothing new is being created in the third dimension. It's all old stuff resonating and dying out. Nothing new in the third dimension can be created. It's all dying. What's happening now is we're getting used to the fifth dimension and the fourth dimension. What's happening in the fourth dimension is the spirit world is showing up. And the more we get used to ourselves as spirit and not just humans, the rest of the fourth dimension, the spirit world, feels safe enough to show up. So we're going to get used to seeing angels in body, me, people like me, and also full on angels, seeing people with their wings out, extraterrestrials coming to help, ascended masters walking around. We'll be seeing that in our lifetime. We'll also be able to handle things like solar flares. It won't wipe us out as much. The fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, that's going to become our reality. We're already in the fifth dimension. We actually have been since 2012. That's when that timeline opened up. So when people talk about moving into the fifth dimension, we are doing that, but we're actually just getting used to the fifth dimension. It's here already. Everyone is part of the fifth dimension. They will realize it as they're ready. So no one is in the third dimension anymore. It's dead. Just realizing it. And we're letting the third dimension because
Uh,
change is slow and we let it. Yeah.
So they say angels walk among us, and that's you.
Yeah.
They say that extraterrestrials, ETs, are among us also. I mean, just all the sightings alone explain, what people kind of thought but didn't really think of. But now that the evidence is really out there, do you believe that we're going to have contact soon in the near future with
Hmm.
ETs? And yeah.
Yeah. When I go to the Galactic Council meetings, the timeline is in 2027 into 2028. It looks like we'll be seeing more. Let me see what I have permission to say. Okay. They are saying, watch the disclosure in movies, music, and on the news, because as you see more, they're calling it gentle, soft disclosure. They're getting us ready for the helpers to be here. And in the next 2 to 3 years, they are going to be here, and they literally mean ships touching down and joining the community. And they won't be here as refugees. They'll be here building hospitals, community centers, and schools, and joining the communities and building spiritual centers. That's what we're going to see in the next few years, and helping us to plant new nutrients. They're showing me creating new origin stories that remind me of the old stories of how to plant corn, how the old Thanksgiving stories, new stories like that, that will be part of our culture. And this will happen around the world.
So
And it
we'll
will
be
happen
unified.
yes, unified. And it will be the same story at the same time all around the world. And so it looks like it will be a big happening within the same 3 days. So even though, it's a time change, they're planning it within the same 3 days around the world so that people will have the same story. So we're not playing the telephone game where the story changes. And they're showing it to me in a way that almost like it's the new Bible being written. And instead of the Bible being written 500 years after the action happens, this time we have the story right away. Yeah.
So Rachel, who guides you? Who are you closest to as far as your guides or your angelic beings? Who comes through for you, talks to you and tells you things?
Honestly, I am really close to God. And that relationship has been tricky because when I first felt I knew God, God was personified for me like an old man on a cloud. And I don't know God that way anymore. God goes back and forth as a mother father figure, and then sometimes as pure energy. I'm still working on that. But I often go right to the source. My other being that I channel, I go often to the ascended masters. I talk to Buddha a lot. I'm very Buddhist in my beliefs. I work with the archangels quite a bit because they are my managers. As a seraphim, we have archangels around us all the time. Did you eat? How are you today? How are your arches in your feet? They're on us all the time. Have you listened to music today? And I really love working right with Source because Source is neutral. Source is not religious. Source is beyond spirituality, beyond religion, beyond earth. And it's also really good for me to work with Source because it's helped me work with my feeling of my personal life. I've dealt a lot of like lack of worth. Like, why me, God? Why would you ask me to be an angel? Why? And so being able to work with oracle cards, for example, and ask myself, okay, who's working with me through these cards? Who am I channeling?
That's a
And
good
then
question.
decide, okay, God, speak to me through these cards. And then say, okay, now who am I to talk to God? That's been good for me because it's taught me that God speaks through everyone, speaks to everyone, whether I'm a ladybug or a piece of poop
Mhm.
or Rachel Corpus. God creates all and loves all. And that has changed my life.
And that's the difference, I believe, between spirituality and religion. Where spirituality, we feel and know that God put everything within us to manifest or deal with whatever we need as far as love, whatever, instead of looking outside to another person to get that
Yes.
feeling. And that's
Sister,
why,
yes.
hence the essence in us. That's the essence in you. That's why I named it that,
Yes.
because he put that essence in us, that knowing, that love, that we don't have to go to someone else for answers. We could go within and he gives us the answers. So that's for
God
me the
loves us
difference.
so much that God gives us everything we need. We're
I
fully
truly
equipped.
believe that.
We are God. And I used to think that that was blasphemy. That's the way I was taught, and it's not. It's the opposite. It's such a gift.
I also went to a Catholic school.
Did you
So,
really?
yes, so I do know all that is, masses and communion and yeah. So and it's so funny because I remember because every Wednesday we had to go to mass, even though, in church, even though we're in school, we had to go to mass. And so I remember sitting there and the father was at the pulpit and he was talking and I don't know, in my head just was like, boom, like, why do I have to listen to him when I could talk directly to God? Whatever he said contradicted what I knew. But that doesn't make sense to me. I don't need a middleman when I could go straight to him. And from
Yes.
that day on, I didn't disrespect, but I questioned. But you couldn't question. You could question
Mm-mm.
everything else, but don't you dare question religion. And I remember a young man in school said, well, why is such and such? And he got suspended. Number one, because the nun couldn't answer the question, but it was a legitimate question. He just said, well, if Jesus died for, his hair is supposed to be lamb's wool, why am I looking at someone with long hair? And she got upset and he got suspended from school. Instead of saying, well, it's everybody's interpretation. That's because she didn't know. Of course, she didn't know because she didn't know.
Right.
It's just how your upbringing, and that's what you were programmed to think and do, things like that. But yeah, he got suspended for that. So, yeah, I always wondered that.
Bless his heart.
But
Boy, that really changed your life.
yeah, it did. That was one. But that was the first thing I would say that it was just, and I remember it plain as day. I'm just standing there, had my uniform on, and you know how you have to kneel and you have to get up, and I had kneeled and then I got up and I'm like, why am I even, didn't go straight to him? Why? You know what I mean? It's just,
Yes.
it's just that why? Like, why? But
Really
that's why.
love I love my life as a minister. I love it.
Hmm.
And also I I love that I am not needed because no one needs a go-between for God. No one needs that. And it's why I don't serve a church.
Hmm.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I love to
I
step in when someone needs a pastor to marry them or bury them.
yeah.
That's my jam. I love that. But I don't serve churches anymore because of what you're saying, because nobody needs a go-between to get to God.
Because regardless, he loves you unconditional and he forgives you unconditional. That's why we're here to experience life. We are humans experience a spiritual, what is it now? We are human. I can't remember now how it goes because my mind's like, I
Humans,
have so many
yeah,
questions in my head.
experiencing a spiritual experience. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Or it could be the opposite too. I think they're both right. Spirits experiencing a human experience. Isn't it both correct? Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Plus,
You're right.
I've heard Jesus say a lot that he never intended for church to be in a building. He intended people to have conversations in their living rooms, in their kitchens, in the yard. He never intended us to have big meetings in churches. That wasn't his intent.
So, and some people say, religion is man made,
It
spirituality
is,
is God
girl,
made.
is man-made.
Yeah. So,
And I really mean man-made, like penis-made.
hmm,
A
yeah.
lot of penises in the room with that
Yeah,
editing.
and
Yeah.
still is.
Yes.
And that's part of the problem because it's amazing how us as women, Mary Magdalene is a prime
Yes.
example of how they just basically slandered her through
Yes.
centuries, calling
Yes.
her a whore and everything else when she was not.
No, she
She
was a
was
channel.
not.
She was a
Yep,
disciple and a
yep,
channel and a
yep,
mama and
yep.
Jesus's wife.
And Jesus's wife. Yes, absolutely. And it's just amazing. Like you're trying to erase us except for you.
Right.
except for, the man. You're trying to erase everybody else except for the man.
And then there were all of those children, the Essenes, who were also gifted psychics that were raised with Jesus.
Yeah.
And then they were just totally left out of the Bible because they
It's a
needed to
lot.
make it look like only Jesus could work the miracles.
Yes. But
Amazing.
they also left out that Jesus learned. He had to learn. Somebody taught him how to
Somebody
do
taught
those
him.
things. Somebody taught him. He traveled to Egypt and everywhere
Yes.
else. They left all that out. There's 18, I believe, 18 or 20 something books that's left out of the Bible. And that I
Yes.
have an issue. Yeah.
And some of the books are written by women.
Yep.
We have Mother
Exactly.
Mary's book.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That will be
funny.
revealed. The angels say that will be revealed. Those will be
Good.
revealed.
Good. But you know what else? Is how this whole nother rabbit hole for me started is I'm meditating in my meditation space and I asked for a sign or talk to me or something. And right here in my ear, a voice said Enoch as I was closing the doors. And I was like, Enoch? Who's Enoch? And I was like, Enoch. And I was like, and I heard it as clear as day, Enoch. So when I got to work, I Googled it. I was like, "Oh, that's Metatron. So that's how another part of my journey began. And that's where I was like, well, he's only listed twice in the Bible. That's
He's
it.
one of my best
So,
friends.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So that started me all over. And I feel that I was told that for a reason. So I'm trying to, you just told me not to try to know everything, but I'm trying to,
Oh, he's
there's a
amazing.
message there somewhere for me
Yes.
or wouldn't have been told to me. And that's what I believe. So, yeah.
He's one of the He's the only archangel who has incarnated as human, and he's hilarious. He also hangs out a lot with Archangel Azrael, the archangel of death and change. They're always together hanging around,
Oh,
making
yeah.
mischief. I love those two. That's amazing.
It's just, I always go, "Ah," the aha moment, "Ah."
Yes,
So,
me too. I never take them for granted.
and I appreciate and thank them that they guide me for whatever I need or just guide me, period. They watch out for me even though I don't even know something is coming. They protect me. And
Oh,
that
me too.
I am truly heartfelt. Thank you. I truly am thankful for that.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, could you tell us or what spirit has any messages for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you thinking about maybe in regards to the world?
Yeah, humanity, where humanity's going.
Yes.
Yeah, where that's I think that'll be for everyone.
Let's see who wants to talk here. I have a window to my right, so I'm just gonna gaze out of it and see who wants to come in and what they wanna say. Okay. I have some extraterrestrials coming in. I have a Pleiadian and I have an Arcturian and there is an elemental who says that he is from the beginning of time and he's calling himself, I don't know the name. It's a symbol and it is a triangle with, it looks like a spiral in the middle. And I have not channeled him before. And he is kind of the shape of his symbol is the triangle with a spiral in it. And he kind of is a tree shape, honestly. And then there is Archangel Gabriel, and the one who's speaking is Gabriel. All right, here's the message. Beloveds, we would like to thank you so much for bringing us in today. We are so very happy to spend this time with you. We've collected this team of ragtag loved ones to speak with you today. We've combed the universe for the best helpers to relay this message to you. We have quite literally gone to the edges of the universe to collect the messengers that reach the audience listening today. We have someone that is indigenous to this earth. He is an elemental. And those of you listening who do not know who an elemental is, he is one who connects to the energy of those of you who have been here from the very beginning. And he would like to say to you, be rooted in your beliefs. Make sure that as you stay in your belief set, you are loving with yourself. Be kind as you share your beliefs in your
Oh,
beliefs.
we lost
Make sure.
audio
Oh,
for a second.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear now? Make sure that when you differ in your beliefs with other people, that you give them a chance to share their wealth of knowledge with you. Listen, alchemize your feelings of dread, of frustration. Give those feelings to me. I will take them into the earth. I will take them into the red clay. I will find the gold that is nestled into the earth. I will turn the feelings of sadness and dread into love and send it back to you. You are here to bring peace and love. Remember, the extraterrestrials wish to say to those of you who are star seeds, pay attention to the top of your head as you feel buzzing in the top of your scalp. It is us. We are talking to you as you fall asleep. We are with you, sometimes hovering above your homes. Sometimes we are outside in your backyard. We are longing to be in your home, but we will not come close if you're scared. If you know we are talking to you, please tell us in your mind if we can come closer to you. We are your family. We are representing two realms, but we are from all realms of the extraterrestrial palaces. Some of you are Lyran. Some of you are as far back as Atlantis. We are talking and representing all of the extraterrestrials and ultra terrestrials. We are coming back to you, preparing you for your challenges and your purpose. You are supported and you're safe. Our message is we are here for you. We cannot come close if you're scared. We are around you. If you'd like us to be closer, let us know. And from the angels, invite us in. We are observing you and supporting you. If you would like us to be more active, you must tell us. We cannot interfere with your free will. And so we must hear from you. We must hear, angels, participate in my life, participate and help me make choices. And when you say this to us, we change from cheerleaders and observers into participants in your life. We are waiting to hear that from you. And we relay to you from the realm, you are beloved and you are protected. We would like to say that your world is changing rapidly. Keep breathing and keep watching for signs that this world is on the right track. Pay no mind to what your news cycle is saying. Watch enough to stay informed and then turn it off. Watch no more than 10 minutes a day and then turn on music that changes your vibrational frequency back to its natural state. And your natural state is a high frequency. And by high, we mean love. Remember, eat food that nourishes you. The food that will nourish you is brightly colored and crunchy. Remember this. These things are simple and important. Be kind to all beings. This is not a time to kill anything. Do not kill insects. Talk to them. They have souls like you. Remember these things. They are important. Read good literature. Read things that bring you joy. Write your thoughts down. Manifest your highest good. Meet your neighbors. Remember that water is living. Speak to it. Thank it. Talk to your money. Tell your money what you desire of it. We're speaking to you in this way because we know that if you do these things, you can create your reality. We believe in you. All the beings that came through today, they are your team. And we're calling them in to work for you so that you can create your best and highest good. We believe in you and we love you. And these messages come directly from God, the source. We conclude this message.
Oh, wow. Thank you. How powerful is that? Especially one that you haven't even channeled before. Wow.
Yeah, I have
That's
no
so
idea what I said.
you know what? That's another thing. Where do you go? Like, do you just go in a corner or do you
It's
just
a
stay
different
back?
brainwave.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here, but I'm just kind of here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can hear my voice, but if I listen, I'll lose it. Yeah. So if I start to listen, it'll go away.
And it's funny how you were started, and I guess the electricity, just that energy, and the mic instantly went. I was like, "Oh my, she's high."
I have an agreement with them that when I
Mhm.
channel, there is an angel of technology that comes in who is assigned to me because if I have an agreement that that angel comes in every time And sometimes she's late. And when she's late, I know it because the sound will go out or the internet will go out. Angels have their own personality, and she's funny 'cause, like I said, she's late. And I know when she is because I'll lose the call. She's so funny. Her name is Penelope. She's hilarious. She dresses like she's from the 1960s. She
Oh.
has yellow bell bottoms, and she's got a yellow crop top, and she
Mhm.
has purple flowers on it. Hilarious. Penelope.
Well, thank you, Penelope, for coming through.
She did her job after a minute.
Yep, she did. She did. Well, ma'am, could you please tell everyone where they can find you? And I have to say, I enjoyed talking and speaking with you. I enjoyed our chat. I really do
Me too.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Same. Well,
So
friends, if you would like to reach out, I have a podcast. It's called Angel Talk, and it is on the Mind Body Spirit Network or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, my website is rachelcorpus.com. If you'd like to connect for a session or a class or something, those are the easiest ways to find me, or social media.
And of course, Essence Family, we will have everything for you in the show notes. Again, thank you, Rachel. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And that's going to conclude the podcast for today. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and notify so you know when she's coming up. Woo! Have a good one. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone.